friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, like huge, and one of the things that I love doing is I engage with Star Wars outside of the films. And I'm going to lose some of you when I say this, but for me, Star Wars is more than just the 6 films. I mean, 9 films. Star Wars is all of the video games, all of the comics, all of the books, all of the fandom. It is everything that encompasses the canon, the fandom. It is so much fun. And one of the things that I love doing is I love listening to the Star Wars audiobooks. There's just a great feeling, vibe, thing about Star Wars when you're listening to an audiobook. It's just, they're always done so well, and I love them so much. But recently during a live stream, I was asked, like, what books do you recommend in Star Wars canon? Now, there's so much, guys. I'm always listening to an audiobook. I'm always reading. It's something that I do all the time. In fact, today I downloaded Star Wars Shatterpoint. I got it at 7 o'clock this morning, and I'm already like more than a third of the way through the book, right? Just by driving. And that's what I love about audiobooks is if you're driving, you can put it on and listen to it when you're cutting the grass or, just about to pass out. It can be the last 5-10 minutes of your day. I love it. It's fun. But one of the books that I recommend, and to answer that question, what Star Wars book do I recommend? The answer is Thrawn. Absolutely Thrawn. Now, if you're watching this video and you've read Thrawn, either New Thrawn or Legends Thrawn, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Thrawn is such a great character. In New Canon, there are 6 books in focusing in and around Thrawn. In Old Canon, I think there's up to like 9 books. Thrawn is 30 years old in Star Wars canon. Some of you probably didn't know that. I didn't know that until like the anniversary happened a couple of months ago. Like, he is such a great character. And part of the reason why I say start with Thrawn, there's a few reasons why you should. One, if you're new to Star Wars, period, Thrawn is a character that's really fun to get to know. In Star Wars, the original or the new Thrawn canon, right? So you have to know, like, there's a difference between old canon and new canon. New canon Thrawn, self-entitled Thrawn. The cover is not being shown for some reason, but it starts off with Thrawn coming to the Empire. And one of the things that I like about this, especially if you're new to Star Wars reading, right? Because there's a lot of words, a lot of things that may not make sense to you. And so as a new reader, this is great. Because Thrawn, he's an alien. He's a foreigner coming to the Empire, right? And so one of the things that he has to do is he has to learn their language. And in doing so, he not only teaches the Thrawn not only learns it, but he also helps those who are new readers, who are unfamiliar with some of the terms and language in Star Wars. It helps them also get a good understanding. Also, it's a phenomenal book. It's just so freaking good, right? And it's wonderful. The first Thrawn trilogy of the new canon, so there's Thrawn Alliances, and then Thrawn Treason. These books are phenomenal. I highly recommend them, especially if your only understanding of Thrawn comes from Star Wars Rebels. Because one of the things that it's going to do is it's going to give you a more nuanced version, a more nuanced idea of who Thrawn is. Yes, he's a bad guy, but is he really the bad guy? This is a really important look at Thrawn. Now, after you've read those 3 books, and you need to, jump over to Star Wars Thrawn Ascendency series. the Thrawn Ascendency series isn't finished yet. But one of the things that is absolutely fascinating about this series is it is being written and produced and published within a year and a half of itself. So Thrawn Ascendency Chaos Rising came out, Chaos Rising, September 2020. Book 2, Thrawn Ascendency, The Greater Good, came out at the end of April 2021, 6 months apart. Thrawn Ascendency, The Lesser Evil, will come out in September of 2021. The fact that it's being written and published so quickly, to me, hints at Thrawn being such a crucial part of whatever is coming next in the Star Wars lore, in the Star Wars canon. Now, again, a lot of people are saying that Thrawn might be the big baddie in the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni universe. I kind of feel like that's not going to be the case based on what I'm reading here, but that's for a different video. Now, Thrawn, self-entitled, Thrawn Treason, Thrawn Alliances, all of those focus in and around his time in the Empire. Thrawn Ascendancy focuses in his time before the Empire, right? So it's a little bit of a younger Thrawn, a little, I don't want to say naive, although there's definitely moments of naivete in here, but it's so good. It is so absolutely fascinating. And one of the things that is super interesting about this is Thrawn, there is no Skywalker. There is no family of Jedi. This is just the Thrawn, the Chiss experience. Thrawn with his people. It is phenomenal. Now, if you are diehard Legends fan, Thrawn and the Heir to the Empire trilogy, right? The original trilogy where Thrawn was originally introduced is being re-released under this new title, the Essential Legends Collection. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's canon and then there's legends. Canon is everything that was created after Disney said, we're buying Lucasfilm. Legends is all of that stuff that was in existence before Disney came along. All of that stuff, all of that lore, all of that material, they didn't just like throw it away. They said, well, they spent so much time in building this and a lot of the fans love it. Let's call it a legend. Now, the idea behind a legend is that there's truth in it. There's truth within the story of whatever's being told, right? So all of these books, everything from Darth Bane to the Thrawn trilogy to the X-Wing series to Darth Plagueis to Shatterpoint, all of those have truth, or essentially canonical experiences. What does that mean? Well, what that means for Thrawn, since the original Thrawn trilogy takes place after the fall of the Empire, it makes sense for us as fans. It is likely that these stories are going to somehow be recycled into the new canon, right? They probably won't relaunch these books as new books, but they're probably going to continue Thrawn's story in the sequel series era, right? So a lot of what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are creating now are absolutely, or will absolutely, hit in and around what Thrawn has been doing, will be doing during the sequel trilogy. Now, I gotta say, guys, if you are a fan of reading, if you have not picked these books up, do yourself a favor and read them. Do it. In the section below, I have a link to Audible. Every time you follow that link and then subscribe, you get 1 free month, a free book of your choice, and you help the channel. It's great. If you go to your local library, if you go to your local bookstore, if you go to a smaller bookstore and have them order it for you, right? Help a small business, help them out. There's a lot of potential out there for you to get these books. I don't recommend finding them through nefarious means, but that's even available to you. There's so many ways for you to engage with these books. Not only do I get the audiobooks, I get the physical books. That's how much I love Star Wars, but specifically Thrawn. So good, guys. And if you're starting in Star Wars, this is the place to do it. Now, there are so many other books out there that are absolutely wonderful, but I had to say, the first thing that you should engage with is Thrawn. Thrawn is amazing. Timothy Zahn tells a fantastic story. Now, whether it's old canon in the Legends material or new canon, he does the same. And he tells a great story. What he doesn't do is repeat himself. And that's amazing considering he's been telling about the same character for the last 30 years. It's really good, guys. I am a huge fan. Now, it is very specific to Star Wars. So again, as I recommend, you should start with the original series, the original new canon series, because it gives you a lot of that language to pick up. But this is where you should begin, guys. It is phenomenal, and I think it's going to be relevant for the future of Star Wars in the coming years. I really think that this is going to be, and Thrawn is going to play a key role between the time of Episode 6 and Episode 7. But it could be anything. Now, that being said, if you've read Thrawn, what do you think? Do you like Thrawn? Do you like the new Thrawn, or do you like the old Thrawn? Do you see much of a difference? Because there is, in my mind, a very distinct difference between these two characters, and they're very interesting. I love Thrawn. Do you? If you're interested, this is the book that I recommend. These are the books. As I mentioned, check out the links in the section below for a free copy of Thrawn on audiobook. And if you've never listened to a Star Wars audiobook, guys, give it a shot because it is phenomenal. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Like, subscribe, share. If you're interested, or if you're curious about other books that you might recommend, or if you have a book recommendation for me within Star Wars or outside of Star Wars, let me know in the links below. Like, subscribe, share. Click that bell button to be notified anytime I go live. And, as always, my friend, most importantly, smile and stay nerdy.